And there are calls today for a freshman member of Congress from Illinois to resign. Downstate Congresswoman Mary Miller was at the Trump rally that preceded the act of insurrection yesterday. She told people at that rally that Hitler was right about one thing, and that is influencing the youth of a country. Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky, among others, had called for Miller to resign. The U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum also condemned her. And Congresswoman Schakowsky joining me now to talk more about this and the events of the last 24 hours. Congresswoman, it's so good to see you. What an incredible 24 hours. But I want to just start with your call for Miller to resign. She is a newly elected Republican member. What do you want to say about her statement?
You know, I had been calling her, identifying her as a new colleague from Illinois. I look forward to meeting her. And then she said what I think is the unthinkable, the intolerable. And in invoking the name of Hitler in a positive way. Now, I am particularly sensitive to that as a Jew, but I would hope anybody hearing the words that Hitler was right has to be offended. And I think it is a disqualifying view that she expressed to a crowd that was already hostile and, you know, trying to take down our democracy. Who was at the head of that line? The President of the United States.
Okay, well, let's talk about that.
Shocking.
Let's talk about that, because this morning there are calls, as you know, asking for the Vice President to invoke the 25th Amendment and immediately remove President Trump from office. You just probably heard, as you were waiting to come on with me, that Adam Kinzinger is saying that the President is unfit and unwell. He is a Republican and saying that the President should be taken out of office. I want to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think he's posing a national security threat right now, showing how vulnerable the government of the United States is in terms of the people and the leaders and our principles. And, you know, he may be off Twitter and Facebook right now, but he still has the nuclear codes in his pocket. And I fear that his attitude right now is, if I'm going down, I'm going to take y'all with me.
So you want the 25th Amendment? And do you think he is unwell, as a lot of people are saying?
Well, unwell. He's certainly a dangerous person. We saw that yesterday. It was really the government of the United States of America versus its president, our democracy versus our president. Absolutely. And starting to hear that from the Republicans makes it, I think, more possible. And of course, the president was very critical of the vice president for allowing what he called a fraudulent election to be certified. And so I have joined a letter asking for the 25th Amendment or impeachment, whatever, in order to prevent this president from more horrifying damage.
There's only 2 weeks left in his office. Is that realistic? Do you think there is actually the time to make that happen? And would the vice president agree to doing something like this?
You know, I don't know if the vice president would. I think that he would have to, because all of the cabinet members would have to vote to take away the presidency from Donald Trump. And invoke the 25th Amendment. But I don't care how little time there is. I think he poses a true threat to our country and to our democracy, and I would hope that we could move quickly. I mean, even those who call for impeachment, which I am supporting as well, you know, doesn't take all that long to do that, and I think we would have some Republican support. I think people are now just sort of recovering from the horror show that we saw yesterday, but I think it's time for accountability.
You know, you have been in office for some time now, and you were there yesterday when all of this came down. I want to talk to you about what happened, and if you can, just kind of walk us through that experience, and I'm sure like nothing you've ever experienced in your life.
Never before. So I was in my office. We only allow a certain number of people on the floor of the House at one time because of COVID, and was told immediately to lock down. And I also put on C-SPAN and was watching the moment to moment. And I'll tell you, watching leaders of our country fleeing, running, and no real apparent security. That's a whole other issue we need to investigate. seeing Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, her office invaded, and the vandalism that we saw there, and then gunshots into the House chamber and out of the House chamber. It was just shocking. And I have to tell you, I don't understand it. You know, when Black Lives Matter was demonstrating peacefully in downtown D.C., 16,000 people were arrested. Yesterday, 57 people were arrested. I would have expected to see barricades, to see paddy wagons ready to arrest people. And who would have been inspiring those people? The President of the United States. It's horrifying. It's terrifying. And, you know, who knew when those guns were being, the gunfire in the chamber of the House of Representatives, what was finally going to happen? So we have to have an investigation.
Yes, and I wanted to ask you about that, because that's the big question right now, is how in the world did those crowds manage to infiltrate the building? You know, to watch and see them just casually walking through the Capitol. Nobody was stopping them once they were in. They were taking videos, they were taking pictures. Some talk that some security guards actually allowed them to come in. What have you learned about this, if anything at all, and about a future investigation?
Certainly, so we have not heard enough, and we have not learned enough, and we better learn a lot, because it becomes a national security threat as well. We have plenty of enemies around the world who now saw unprecedented vulnerability of our government, of the symbols of our government. There are 4 people dead as a result of this. And I want to tell you that it's just wrong that there had not been the planning. We knew about this. Donald Trump invited people months ago to be here, and they came wearing their MAGA getup and civil war, calling for civil war, and he approved of that. He told them to go home, but I love you. I mean, it's just shocking and intolerable. And so I think there needs to be, no matter how short the time is, some kind of way to diminish or get rid of the danger of Donald Trump.
Congresswoman Schakowsky, we thank you for joining us, and glad that everything ended for our lawmakers safely, even though it was a horrible day and 4 people died from that incident. Please come back and talk to us when you learn more about any possible investigation into that security breach. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Okay, have a good day.